Hello and welcome back to Trains Up North. Today we're going to be celebrating the channel's birthday. Hip hip hooray! Yes, it's true. Trains Up North is 1 year old. So what have I been up to? What are my future plans? Let's find out in this episode. Well, to start with, I've respaced I don't know how many sleepers. I've laid all the track on the scenic section, and I've got just over a third of the back scenes done. There'll be a video coming out on the back scenes in a couple of weeks, so if you want to watch that, hit the subscribe button and make sure that you don't miss it. So starting down here at the south end, the platform's in. I've done the surface. It was actually my first video that I did, and it wasn't the best video, but I'm quite happy with the end result. I've got all the fencing here painted and ready to go in. The lighting for the station, you'll notice they are spread out quite a bit, and I have tested them, so they're going to light up, and with the spacing and the LEDs in them, it doesn't throw the light all the way to the centre properly, which is exactly what I wanted. Because if you go and look at street lighting and lighting in platforms and stuff, quite often it's not really bright all the way along and you do get dark spots. So for me, it just makes it a little bit more realistic. So if we zoom in, you'll see that I've got the point rodded in, and these little black patches. So on the point rodding stools, you put oil on them and lubricate them, just so that they move and don't get jammed. I've put the pulleys in for the signal cables. I'm not putting signal cables in. I have done this previously. It was an absolute nightmare to put them in, and you couldn't actually see them because they were that fine. And I've weathered the track. I've put the fence posts in along the entire stretch with wire between the fence posts. Put this little bit of a retaining wall in just to keep the embankment back. It has got a little bit of weathering on it. I didn't want to put too much on it, and I've put all the bushes in along this south section. So as the trains leave the heritage section, they're going to enter a cutting. Now this little bit of track here is going to be hidden in a tunnel, and then on top of the cutting I've started my little housing estate. So this here is just going to be a bit of land that's been left, and it's going to be a bit overgrown. There's some pallets and overgrown bushes and stuff and bits of rubbish that people have thrown in. So the local kids are going to make dens and stuff in there amongst all the brambles and bushes and what have you. As we come overhead, you'll see that I've started putting bushes and plants and things in the gardens. That one I haven't started yet. I've moved slightly to the left. You'll see the back of that house is covered in ivy. And all these houses and street lights and things all light up. And underneath the footpaths is dozens of cables, because what I've done is I've put them on different circuits. The mill at the back is low relief, and there's no lights in that, but I have put things like smash windows in there. You'll notice ground floor windows are boarded up, and there's a little bit of graffiti. The cables that I mentioned in the street, that's what they look like. The reason there's so many is because I wanted to have it so that I can have individual rooms lit up in buildings and individual street lights, so when the street lights come on, they're not all going to come on at the same time. In the front garden of this house, I've put some red hot pokers in, and I'm really quite pleased with how they look. I think they look really well. When I'm doing the houses and the gardens, I try and think of a backstory. So, who would live there? What they like? How would they maintain the house and the garden? So, doing that, I think it just allows me to develop a little bit more character in the buildings and the houses and things, which ultimately adds to the overall effect that I'm trying to portray on this layout. We then progress, and this is the east side of the layout, and we go towards the main station. This bit here in front of us is the city scene on the layout. It is a work in progress. I have managed to complete the Debenhams store. It's low relief, scratch built. To the right is a block of flats. Again, it's a scratch build. It's low relief. It's not finished yet. The Debenhams pretty much is. Maybe a touch of weathering just to make it look like it's been there for a while. To the left of the Debenhams is going to be another modern type store or building of some description. And further over, where the buses and the coaches are, is going to be an older style building. This is probably going to be a building that was originally put in on the far side of the road by the railway company to serve the railway. We can see the car park here on the right of the screen. That's just a small car park which serves the station building. I did think about putting a bigger car park in, but I thought it would be a bit dull just to have a huge car park. It's just, yeah, I'd rather have buildings and scenery and grass and things. The car park, it's going to be a little bit small for what it is really. To the left of the car park, I'm going to have the station building. So I've started putting in road markings in the city. The footway is plaster, and it's been scribed just to sort of make it look a bit more like flags, and then painted. I've put a bit of tactile paving in there next to the taxi, and there's going to be another piece of tactile paving that goes on the other side, and that's just going to be where people can cross from the drop-off point, which will be there, across the taxi rank, and then into the station building. The station building, I'm going to base it on a sort of modern city type building. The station building, it would have originally been built by one of the big four railway companies. I'm not 100% sure the sort of architectural style that I'm going to have. In this model world, it might have been a station that served LNER and LMS together, and originally the station building would have had a lot more tracks. So the bit here where the station building is going to go, and it's going to come out sort of towards the left. It's going to be quite a large station, and it's going to run pretty much right to the end where it curves around to the left. I should have enough room to put in a 9-car Pendolino in the station when it's done, which I think will look quite impressive. Some of the bay platforms I could put a 6-car unit in. I'm not going to put a 6-car unit in. I'll probably only ever use a 2 or a 4 car DMU or EMU. But if you put a 4 car DMU in a platform and the platform's still bigger than the train, I think it just looks really good. The original station would have had more tracks coming out. Some of those would have gone down towards where that Debenhams is. Obviously they've been taken out, and roads have taken over. Well, one of the bits that was saved was the heritage line. It runs up the slope, round to the left at the top, and then it's going to cross over the main lines. So let's go and have a look at that. On the opposite side of the main lines, so we've moved back, we've got the main lines, and then we go into the depot area. Now this depot is going to be for the Heritage Railway. Is it prototypical to have the Heritage Depot on one side, then the main lines, and then the Heritage line? So to get from the depot to the Heritage line, all the stock and the trains have to go across the main lines. Is that realistic? No, it's not. But I'm going to invoke Article 1 of the International Convention on Model Railways here, which is, it's my layout, it's my rules. The way I'm justifying it is some of the buildings that I've done, or I'm currently doing, are going to be highly detailed. Now, if you look, at the back scene, the edge of the layout is there. Look at how far back that back scene is. The buildings that sit just in front of the back scene are going to be quite detailed, but it's going to be quite hard to see all of that detail, which I think is a shame. So by putting the Heritage Depot at the front of the layout, one, the Heritage stock aren't going to stay in the same formations. So I'm going to shunt coaches and wagons round and change the formations of the trains. So all the sidings acts as a giant fiddle yard, which is scenic. The buildings where they maintain the locos and the wagons and the coaches and things are going to be highly detailed, but the difference is you'll be able to see right into them. So you'll be able to see all that detail, which I'm really looking forward to, and I can't wait to get stuck into doing that. Obviously I need to get the back of the layout sorted first before I do the front, because otherwise I'm going to damage everything getting across. I mentioned a Pendolino, and if I'm having a Pendolino I need to have overhead lines. So as you can see here, I've been building some gantries and other details for the station, and I'm just waiting for the paint to dry on those, and then they're going to sit above the main line. As we come out of the station, there are 4 lines. 3 of those are through lines, one of them goes to a bay platform, and they run into quite a big junction which allows trains to go from any line to any line, and it also has an entry-exit line into the depot. So originally when I planned the layout I didn't have the depot exit at this north end as well. I only had one at the other end, and then I thought it'd make more sense to have another depot entry exit as well, so that's what I've done. So that's basically what I've been up to this past 12 months. Well, where do I see the next 12 months worth of progress? I need to tidy up. There's no getting around it, is there? Parts of the layout are a mess. The reason being, I tidy it up and I get everything looking neat and tidy, and then I start modelling. Rather than tidying things away at the end of the day, I leave things out. So these pegs that I've been using when I've been painting things, transfers that I'm in the middle of doing, and one of the things I find is if I leave them out, I remember where I'm up to. If I put everything away, then one, you have to start getting things out again, and two, I sometimes forget what I'm doing, or not forget what I'm doing, but get distracted and I do something else. So I want to, in the next 12 months, finish off the back scene along this north section, do the raised section at the back for the heritage line so that it goes over the main lines. So I want to do the overhead lines, certainly the gantries and the masts. I don't think I'm going to get all the wires up. I've got a load of wires, but I haven't got enough. I want to start at least on the main station. So if we can get the platforms in for the main station, I think that would be quite good. Like I said, they are huge. The station is huge. It's going to have quite a big retail space. I've got the bit at the back of the layout to do in the city section with the old buildings, things like that. So yeah, it's not going to be complete in the next 12 months, I can guarantee that. I have been asked off a couple of people, how long is it going to be before your railway's finished? And I always give them the same answer. And it's a bit like a politician, really, where I'm never committing to anything solid. I always say, come back and ask me in 10 years' time. And of course, if they come back in 10 years' time, either it won't be finished, or I'll have ripped it out and started a new layout by then. So yeah, I don't think we ever finish model railways, do we? There's always something else you could do. I've got almost 500 subscribers on my channel. When I started 12 months ago, I thought I might have had about 100 by now. So it's just blown me away. It really has. And I thank each and every one of you that follow and support the channel. I do get comments off people. Sometimes I get comments off people that watch my videos that don't put them in the public comment section, and that's fine, but it doesn't help anyone else, because they'll ask me a question, I'll answer it, but what if someone else has got the same question? It hasn't answered it for someone else. So if you have got a question and you do know me, rather than asking me in person, stick it in the comment section below, and then it can benefit more people. If you haven't already done so, feel free to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, or X as we call it now, or on Facebook. Quite easy to find. I'm Trains Up North on both of those. I have got quite a lot of rolling stock and things and locos that's boxed up, So maybe in the next 12 months we'll get some of that out and we'll play trains more. Let me know what you think. What do you want me to do? It's my layout, but the way I see this, it's a joint thing, and it's all about helping each other out and building a community. And you know, I am on a couple of different forums, and people will ask questions and we answer them. And as long as we're being respectful for each other, sometimes the people will have differing answers and opinions, which is fine, as long as we're being respectful to each other. I have had comments on here that have just been nasty, criticising the layout, criticising the videos that I've done on signalling, and they get deleted, so they're wasting their time. Yes, some of the videos might not be the best quality. Early on I had music on some of the videos, and there was a comment off a couple of people that the music was horrendous, so I got rid of it, and now I don't put music on the videos. Some of the videos early on, like especially that first one, it went on for way too long, probably as this one's doing. So now I try and keep them a bit shorter. So constructive criticism like that, I take it on board. Nastiness for the sake of being nasty, yeah, forget it. We're not interested. The layout, and it's like, oh, trains up north, you've not done this, you've got that wrong. Your track's too clean, your track's too dirty, this is wrong. It's my layout, it's my hobby. I'm trying to do it, and I'm trying to share it with you, and I'm trying to pass on knowledge and experience. I've been modelling for 30 years, so I'm new to it. So if I get things wrong, forgive me. I've been involved with the railways for about 10 years, so again, I'm new to it. So if I've got things slightly wrong, please forgive me. I'm only human. Yeah, I'm waffling on and I can feel myself going into a rant. I don't want to do that on this video, so I'm going to wrap it up now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for positive comments and feedback. And until next time, goodbye.